advantaged New Jersey Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew joins us now to talk about a remarkable life, really. We're talking about the former president, Jimmy Carter, passing. Our condolences expressed to his family. And Congressman, we'd like to get your thoughts now as we're looking back at this long, remarkable life.
Well, I certainly send my condolences as well to his family. Jimmy Carter was a good man. I mean, if you were to put words together, that would really symbolize who he was. A good man, a faithful man. He loved his faith. He loved God. He loved people. And he had a big heart. And he had a difficult presidency, let's face it. And it was a time where during his presidency, a lot of things didn't go well, whether it was with the energy issue or whether it was in foreign affairs and the failed attempt to rescue the hostages. We know all that. But what's kind of amazing about him is that, and I mean this honestly, it was almost, his time was almost better served after his presidency, post-presidency, where he was able to do so much, whether it was Habitat for Humanity or some of the international work he did. I think if he had a fault, maybe he trusted people a little too much, especially other countries, adversarial countries. And I think it wasn't the best days for America in that sense where we were taken advantage of. But it was never of malice of heart from him. I think he truly believed in the American ethic, wanted to do the right thing, but it was a difficult presidency. But now when you look back, you see the substance of the man, and it's always beyond Democrat and Republican. It's about those who were good, those who were cared. He certainly cared and loved America.
And he was a young president at the time of his presidency. He and his wife, Rosalind, lived 77 years together in this beautiful marriage. And during his presidency, Amy Lynn, their daughter, was in the White House. So a lot of people look back at that time also as a time where there was this young family in the White House, in a sense. He also had, and you mentioned this remarkable life of service post-presidency, also before, serving in the Navy, serving as governor, and ultimately making that almost just a theme of his entire life, finding ways to give and to serve people throughout the course of this long lifetime.
And it's what people were looking for then. You know, post-Watergate, people were looking for someone who they believed was honest and pure and was going to really bring our nation back. And I think he did fulfill that, you know, and I think that's something that people needed at the time. It was a difficult time in American history. You know, there are certain issues that I think affect our country profoundly throughout the years. Watergate was one of them. If you look at Vietnam was another one. COVID in the most recent era is another one where our country a mark is left upon the country because of these larger than life issues. So he had to fill in that gap, and he brought in the goodness and the love and the decency. That part was there for sure. The practicality of some of the issues as he was president, you know, it was a difficult time. And you know what I say? I say time heals all wounds. I don't know if it heals all wounds, but any wounds that people feel he may have inflicted, I think are healed, because I think his intent was always to do good. And you're right. He served in the military. He served as president. He served in government. He served in politics. He served his church. He served his family. He deeply loved his wife. He was very candid and honest in the way that he spoke about his life and the life of Americans around him. So I think he will be remembered with a kind heart. America's kind heart, I think, will reach out to him.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see some of the challenges that he faced during his presidency in the late 70s and early 80 and 81. We're still visiting some of these issues today, the Panama Canal treaties, the Camp David Accords, creating peace between Egypt and Israel. We're still seeing tremendous strife in the Middle East and challenges with Iran. And he created these diplomatic ties with China. And here we are having many challenges in that department as well. So to a certain extent, many of the issues that he faced, we still face some of those challenges today.
Well, these are big issues, and they're not going to go away, you know, obviously instantly. And you're absolutely right. But they have changed to some degree. For example, you know, it was bold to reach out to China at the time. Both President Nixon and President Carter made new ties, and that was a good thing in a way. But now we have a different relationship with China, and we have to be strong with China and make them realize that this is a strong nation with strong